It's time now for a look through the papers, and we're joined now on set by Diptyque Laurent. Dipty, you're starting with Tour de France excitement hitting fever pitch here in France.
Yeah, that's right, Haxi. That's because two French riders, Julien Alaphilippe and Thibaut Pinot, are still in the running for the final victory this Sunday in Paris. One former Tour de France winner telling Libération that it's one of the best races he's seen in a long time, with a lot of suspense so late into the race. If a Frenchman wins this year, it would be the first time in 34 years, so it's a much-awaited home victory. That prospect has renewed French enthusiasm. Le Figaro, they're saying that France is rediscovering the magic of the Tour de France. The final victory will actually be decided over the next few days. There are three crucial stages in the French Alps. It's your turn. That's what Le Parisien says to Alaphilippe and Pinot. No pressure, even if they are carrying the hopes of an entire nation on their shoulders.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Over in the UK, meanwhile, unsurprisingly, front pages dominated by Boris Johnson, the new Prime Minister.
That's right. He was sworn in yesterday and has vowed to unequivocally see Brexit through by the end of the October 31st deadline. The Edinburgh News going with quite a good headline there. Storm clouds are gathering, damage and disruption. The country's bracing for damage and disruption. Meanwhile, Boris is PM, not related, that's what they say. In his first day as PM, Johnson put together his cabinet, firing much of Theresa May's top ministers and appointing key hardliners to key jobs like Dominic Raab, Sajid Javid and Andrea Leadsom. As you see on the front page of City AM, The Times noting that a record 17 ministers were shown the door in 5 frenzied hours, referring to Johnson's afternoon of cabinet carnage. The Guardian calling him ruthless and accusing him of taking his revenge.
Now, a massive manhunt is underway in a remote part of Canada for 2 teenagers who are suspected of killing 3 people.
That's right. It's a really chilling story. American woman China Deese and her boyfriend, Australian man Lucas Fowler, were found shot to death earlier this month in a remote part of northern British Columbia. At the same time, the body of an now identified older man, Leonard Dyke, was also found, and 2 teenagers were reported missing at the time. In a chilling twist this week, those 2 teenagers went from being victims to suspects accused of having gone on a murderous rampage. A massive manhunt is underway for those 2 men now, Cam McLeod and Briar Schmagelski, who may have changed their appearances and set alight their car, which was found in Manitoba. A search of their online presence revealing alleged links to right-wing extremism and violence.
Meanwhile, an investigation is underway in northern India relating to accusations of female feticide, the killing or the termination of fetuses that are girls.
Well, since April, Haxi, not a single girl has been born in 132 villages of just one of 13 districts in the Uttarakhand district in India. Female feticide in India was banned in 1994, but it abounds illegally. Many families still holding that archaic view of girls as liabilities who must be married off and you have to pay for their dowry. A UN report in 2014 said this sex gap was responsible for the rise in rapes and sexual crimes against women in India. It's also tied to a bride crisis, with more and more men unable to find life partners due to the scarcity of women.
And finally, Dipty, from you, an American woman we know rather well, Amanda Knox. She's back in the headlines, but for all the wrong reasons.
Well, Amanda Knox, the American woman who was absolved of the murder of her college roommate in Italy in 2007, is getting married. She and her fiancé want an intergalactic-themed wedding with costumes, props, time travel, and so forth. They've decided to crowdfund their wedding, asking guests to contribute to the wedding costs instead of giving them gifts. To be fair, the registry was only intended for her guests, but it was not made invitation only, so the public has gotten hold of it, and the criticism has poured in. One writer from the Daily Beast describing the crowdfunding as self-serving narcissism. Knox says she's a figure to be demonized, whatever she does.
Diptyque Laurent with a look through the international papers. Thank you very much indeed.